Hi guys, welcome to Windsome Cottage Garden. My name is Hannah and I'm so glad they decided to join me today. We are still in the cottage garden and today's video is going to be about moving some things around in this top bed. Now we've spent a lot of time here already this year, weeding, mulching, all that jazz. It's looking pretty good, but there are some things that have bloomed out since then. So I'm going to also in this video probably do a quick zip through to deadhead so it continues looking peak. But before I do that, let me give you a lay of the land and highlight some of the things we're going to be shifting. As you can see, the alliums sadly are done. I actually did a video that I think you would have already seen where I pointed out these guys when they were still mid-bloom. I think the heat made them go very quickly this year, which is a bit of a bummer. And we are like maybe getting some weather. So I'm hoping this blows through and I can keep on trucking. But you'll note there's some deadheading that could be done. I'm probably going to leave the blooms over there because their leaves are still nice and green. But as we get over here, you'll see more deadheading, some iris. And I am going to cut back these alliums because their leaves are already yellow. I did want to point out our beautiful wisteria. I gave you guys a far away look at it earlier. But here it is. Right now we need to actually continue on training it. But it's covered in blooms and I am loving it. What I'm not loving is that there is evidence that deer have been here. Mostly in the area over there that we'll go look at in a moment. But you can kind of see them here and there, which is a bit of a bummer. Anyway, I do have a couple weeds. I see a rogue alyssum. We don't want alyssum in this bed, so I am going to dig that out. Do the deadheading we talked about. And then there's not going to be a ton up till about this point. I mentioned earlier this year that we were super bummed when we noticed that all of our scabiosa pincushion flower had died out over the winter. So I have picked up 3 that we're going to be adding back into this area. They lived here for a number of years, so we're hoping maybe it was some fluke that they all happened to die out at once, or maybe it was related to the deer. Either way, we really want them in this area. So I'm going to be adding them back in. One thing I am going to shift that we did already talk about is this allium. I think these are millennium allium, ornamental onions. And it is just engulfed by everything that's here, especially when these seasonal big alliums, these are ambassador alliums, are blooming. Well, actually, those are definitely ambassador alliums. I thought these were as well, but they're a lot more open, so I'm not entirely sure. But either way, this is being smothered out. So I'm actually going to dig it up, probably pop it over here, but then along the edge, space out 3 of the pincushion flowers, which I have purchased right here. We're going to do some deadheading. And then we are going to head over here. We are going to be digging up. There's a baptisia over there that is not performing well because it gets nowhere near enough sun. So I'm actually going to put that in a pot because I have a couple thoughts on where it could go, but no like firm plans. And I'm actually going to plan on pulling the Astilbes that the deer have eaten on that side bed. They're the chocolate cherry mighty Astilbes. They've been eaten down to almost nothing, so we're going to get a generous root ball and hopefully do a planting of 3 back underneath the red bud, which I think would be really pretty to kind of do along here. As you can see, I don't know if you can tell by the dimpling, and these were recovering, and now they're not. And they came and ate one of the autumn frost hostas back. Yeah, we are struggling. We also have had some crazy winds here, and I don't know if you can see that it did damage the red bud, but it's going to survive. It'll be okay. To do some treating with chelated iron. There's just so much to do in this area. It might be picked up a little bit tomorrow, but for now, that's what the plan is. And I'm going to start by zipping through, I think, and doing some deadheading on the right side of the path before we shift to planting into the other side of the path. So let's pray that the rain holds off and see how far I get. Okay, so it is actually a new day. That rainstorm that I was hoping to avoid ended up blowing through fast and furious. So we had to quickly grab everything inside. Not just what I was working on, but what other people were playing with down in the yard. And it is a new day. It is actually just finished raining again. I think that's rain coming off the trees. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a possibility another storm might form up. I have a couple things I just really need to get done because this is sadly my last day at the cottage before heading back home. It was over the July 4th weekend, so we had a really great weekend, which is good. I hope you guys did too. Yeah, I just want to get a couple of these things in the ground. But since I started this video and showed you a couple things looking good, there are a few more things that have come into their own that I wanted to take a brief minute to show you what they looked like before diving into getting some plants in the ground. So they're a little downturned because it's been raining, but the poet's wife has started here, and I just love this rose. This is one I actually recently added in my own yard because of this plant right here. It just blooms its head off from the beginning of the year to the end. It looks so good and fragrant and gloriously covered with flowers. You can also see the creeping Jenny, which is kind of a ground cover in this area, is beginning to bloom. Never actually seen it bloom, so it's kind of fun to see. We're just letting it do its thing here, and hopefully over time it will fill in the space. The other rose that is blooming in this area is our rolled doll rose. Both of these, by the way, are delayed. This one, there's not any like open. This is the closest, and it's really small, but you can see it's a beautiful like apricot-y color with lots and lots of buds. But both of these were eaten quite badly by deer earlier this year, so we cut them back to like where the canopy was, and now they flushed with bloom, so they had to kind of restart. So I'm glad to see them going. The other thing, the pots are looking good. The other thing I wanted to point out is over here, which is our oak leaf hydrangea. I love oak leaf hydrangeas, as you might have gathered from my house. This one has been here a really long time. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's beautiful. Beautiful. These Astilbes here are beginning to go. I love that like purple. Things are just kind of looking up. So let's get you guys set up, hopefully in like a dry spot, because there's a possibility it might start raining again. I'm wondering if that's rain. It's hard to tell if it's rain or stuff coming off the trees. I think it's just stuff coming off the trees. I'm going to go out in it because I just got to get stuff done. But I'm hoping you guys will stay dry. And hopefully we'll be able to see what I'm up to. got everything wrapped up and done, and I thought I would quickly walk you around to show you where stuff ended up, give you some stats on what I planted, and a couple places I changed my mind. You can see that it is still quite gray and misty, but I did give stuff starting about here a good going over. Pulled some weeds, deadheaded. I really wanted to get up and train this wisteria, but alas, I'm running out of time. The last thing you saw is I treated things with chelated iron. This one isn't showing a ton of signs of distress, but all of the hydrangeas in here typically get it, so I went ahead and preemptively treated that. I treated this mini mauvet. I deadheaded some things, and I did get the 3 scabiosa in here, also known as pincushion flower, and I'm going to walk down and show you what I ended up doing. I wanted to actually space these out a little bit more, but I'm a little concerned that that space over there doesn't get enough sun, so I moved them over here, and I think they'll be really pretty along the front of this rock wall. It's where we had them before, and we really miss them. These are just, run-of-the-mill pincushions called Butterfly Blue Pincushion Flower from our favorite Lowe's. They are non-hardy in zones 1 through 3, and they get 15 by 15. So they'll spool out, and the way that they propagate is actually they'll put out like babies. So they'll get 15 in of themselves, but then if they like it, they'll start popping out babies. You can eventually dig those and move them on, kind of like strawberry plants with runners. Over here, I did go in and deadhead one of these Bobo hydrangeas. I am really pleased. Last year, this one did not bloom at all. So I'm excited to see blooms this year. It's a little interesting to me that there's none on this side. I wonder, this obviously has been eaten by some deer, and I wonder if there were a couple things bitten back here as well. But I came in and cleaned those up because that had been on my list to do. And I did end up cutting back all of the allium that were in this area, which is really pretty. All their leaves were done, so they weren't really absorbing any more energy or nutrition from having them stay up. So I cut them. I saved the big spokes. I think I might take them to my house and hang them to dry and use them in something this fall/winter. Thinking about that. The other thing you saw me do was work on the left side of the path where we removed a baptisia. Oh, over here, I did decide to leave this allium here. Once I cut back all of the big ornamental spring allium and this bicolored salvia, there's a ton of space here, and I think actually moving it would leave a hole. So I thought, you know what? This is when it blooms. These are when these are generally done, and this generally needs a cutback. So I'm going to monitor it for a year before I decide to move it. Because I think 1, 2, 3 is a really nice little swath. And while these two have more flowers, this one definitely still has some in there. And I think now that it's got a little more room to breathe, it's gonna go gangbuster. So that was one thing that I did change my mind about. I did decide to remove the baptisia back here. I can't remember if I talked about that. It has never bloomed in this spot. I think it's just too shaded. I thought it got more sun than it did, because baptisia can handle a little bit of shade, but I think this is more than it was bargaining for. Getting it out was very difficult. I hadn't actually been planning on planting it today, and you're not going to see it in this video, but I am going to go plant it because it basically came out bare root and split into a couple. So I'm going to get that planted somewhere very quickly. But I did move over here 3 Mighty Chocolate Cherry Astilbes that were on the side of the house. As mentioned previously in this video or in a different video, these have been eaten back by deer so many times. We've decided to give them a better shot here. Now I did plant these a tiny bit close because these can get 2-ish feet wide and 3 to 4 feet tall. So this might end up shifting a tiny bit in the years to come. But for now, it's going to make a really big, beautiful clump. Actually, I should have moved. I didn't look up the spacing before I planted them, which admittedly was a mistake. I was thinking, 18 inches should be enough. So I'm just going to watch it, see how they do. And if I need to divide them or move them later, I will. But I think they're going to be a lot happier here. It gets a lot of moisture, and I think the plumes will be really pretty to see in this area. Much happier than the baptisia. So there you have it. That is the update from the top of the garden bed. I am going to actually go film another video that you will be seeing shortly. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe, like this video, and comment below which flower you saw today is one of your favorites. We're looking to add some more interest about this timeline in this bed. And I think I'm going to focus on the left side of the path just because it's shade, so it has some different requirements. There's just not a lot of interest in there right now, and I'd really like there to be. So anyway, I really appreciate you joining me today. Make sure you check back to see those other videos, what we're going to be doing as a sneak peek. We went shopping and picked up some really pretty things. And so when the baptisia get planted, there's going to be some other things planted, and you won't want to miss that. So thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye.